I am on the team for the curriculum writing. This has been something that they've been doing for a while. Last year, there was a team of teachers who made a bunch of content for the Wit and Wisdom lessons in the form of slides. And now Wit and Wisdom has that incorporated in the Insync program. I'm on the team that's doing the continued lesson writing as a launch after the University of Cincinnati model lessons came out.
Right, one more time.
And so that is, I think that there's just feedback from your microphone. Could you mute we'll just take turns muting? Cool. So that is continuing to build on that work that you see and their team created with our Office of Curriculum Instruction. So nobody but me called it, but we're kind of like in step 2.0 of this project. So we're going to see where we are now, where we've been, and what's to come. We're going to look at how to access the curriculum that's already available through Wit and Wisdom in Schoology. So that's the center box here. It's just you and me, so we already said hi. And so we'll go straight over to our checklist. Just really quickly going through it, we are going to look at our district portal to find out how we get to our tools. We're going to look at, it's found in our LMS, or our learning management system, Schoology. We're going to look at Wit and Wisdom then and Wit and Wisdom now, and what's to come, embedding content and ease of access. And then we're going to look at some live edits. I call it Google style, and tying it all together, how you can use these and customize them. And so it's just you and me. We're one-on-one. So anytime you have a question, you can just go ahead and unmute and ask your question. And we're going to get started by talking about our district portal first. So you want to make sure that you, and this is true to whatever role you're in. So even though you don't have a gen ed group of kids that you work with, you are a CPS staff member, and you want to launch Clever to get into your district apps. And any students that you are working with, whether it's in a pullout or an inclusion model, you want to have them go into Clever to get to their links too. It's really important because our district portal makes sure it takes us to the right link, takes us to the right login page. And Wit and Wisdom happens to be one of our curriculum tools that is auto-rostered in Clever. So what does that mean? That means that in Clever, there's all these categories. And this one here, instant login with rostering applications, that's sort of like the best type of category of applications. Now, when you click on yours, you might have different apps than me, and that's okay, because our apps are assigned to us by role. So whether you're a classroom teacher or you're a student, the apps that you are rostered to will show up here. So Wit and Wisdom, Great Minds is one of those apps. So I'm going to click on that. So we get to Wit and Wisdom through Schoology, and this is Great Minds Insync. And you can see I land on kindergarten because that's what I was on last. You can go to any grade level you need to, there's no need to change that one. But there is the Wit and Wisdom under kindergarten. There's the Insync user guide. So that can help you out with how to use the Insync program. I'm not going to go into that because we're not going to go through every tool in here. We want to get to the writing project. But there's also getting started with Wit and Wisdom and Insync. And then we get into our module work. So in the modules, there is a welcome video. There's the teacher's full edition, which I always like to open that one up because that's just your teacher guide. So all the classroom teachers got a hard copy teacher's edition, but it is available digitally. Now, since it is just the two of us, I'm wondering if in your role, if you look in Clever, do you have a link to Great Minds, Wit and Wisdom under district rostered links? So do you want to check that now?
You know what, last year, so I have to tell you this, and I've called IT a couple times or contacted them via email. I was using Clever successfully all year long, and then about a month ago, it just pooped out on me. Okay. It wouldn't, it won't let me go into Clever now, and I tried to clear my browser, and I tried to do a couple different things, and I still haven't been able to get in it, which I found it very easy to navigate everything through Clever. So I had, last year when we started with COVID protocol, I did utilize the Great Minds. I went into Great Minds, but I don't know if I went in through a Clever link. I think I did, or maybe I went to the district homepage, My CPS, and you know how they had a lot of that stuff right on the homepage?
Yep.
I think I went in through the homepage to access, because I teach K to 12, right? So
Mhm.
I had to be able to access Great Minds for all my different grades, especially if I was supporting them in the upper level grades.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have access to this Great Minds and help students through it, um, to get grades and to understand. But this year with kindergarten, we haven't done a lot with Wit and Wisdom yet. So I'm in kindergarten and fourth grade, and honestly, I haven't done a lot with Great Minds this year so far.
You know
But
what? I'm also in the background. I'm just looking, and I'm actually not seeing a Clever account for you. So
that's
that
weird.
would be something to contact the help desk about and
I
let them
will ask
know.
them about that. Yeah,
Um,
I did.
Clever assigns accounts by roles. And
Okay.
my first suspicion is you don't have like a teacher account because maybe you don't have a Power School roster of students who report to you,
Yeah, they must
but
have
you
changed
should
it.
still have a staff account.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's look into that first. That
Okay. And
will,
would that be just IT?
yeah, so I would call 363-0390,
Okay.
option one, and
Okay.
tell them that you can't figure out how to log into your Clever account.
Okay.
Now, that being said, I just do want to double check. So let me go. I'm doing something on the other tab. So 1 second. Um, just to make sure I get you in here, right?
So, that was also an issue for Schoology, but I finally got a Schoology account. So I have a Schoology page that my students go in and go on meets with me. So I have school, and I can put content on my Schoology. So that was an issue also with Schoology, but I got that resolved and now have
Okay.
my Schoology page. Yeah.
So I'm just going to grab the Clever Portal guide, excuse
Okay.
me, and drop that in the chat for you as well. Just
Okay.
double check that you are going to that address, clever.com/in/CPS-K12. Make sure you're going there,
Okay.
and then make sure you click login with Google, and then that should take you in. Now, Great Minds is an auto rostered, but if they gave you access, like there's all sorts of ways. I'm just going to make sure that you have the digital.greatminds.org so that you can get to the teacher guide.
Yeah.
And if you can't, if you would log in and it doesn't let you in, I would contact Karen Clemens. She
Okay.
is our ELA manager for K
Okay.
to 6. So
Okay.
over all the Wit and Wisdom, she should be able to help you get in.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will say this digital teacher guide, I like digital better than hard copies for the
Uh-huh.
most part. And so I really like it because it's really easy to navigate. And I like having a digital copy. But if you can't get this, your building should have several of the hard copies. So maybe if you've got a techie teacher you work with and he or she is using the online, you could use the hard copy. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a teacher guide access.
Okay. Yeah. I
If you're,
did. Yeah, okay. I have gotten on before, but I just haven't used
yeah,
it much here.
well, we want to make sure you can continue to get on. But the good news
Okay.
is not very much of today's stuff is about what's in here in Wit
Okay.
and Wisdom online. In here, I'm just showing you where all the pieces came from.
Great. Okay.
So if we look at the module arc, the focusing question arc,
Yes.
and in this project today, they're calling it the FQA. And I was like, what
Mm-hmm.
is an FQA? Because we're like saturated with acronyms, but it's just focusing question arc. So it's in this arc. So this is the module 1, and then there's module 2. We're into module 2 in this project now.
Uh-huh.
And then lots of teachers are currently teaching or wrapping up teaching in module 2. Some might be moving into module 3, probably not, in kindergarten.
Right.
So most of them are probably wrapping up Once Upon a Farm and getting ready to launch America Then and Now. So those are our modules. So the one that we are looking at right now is module 2. So I'm going to hop ahead now on this agenda, and I'll just drag this over. We looked at the district portal. Next, we're going to look at how we find this stuff in our LMS, in our learning management system. So on your agenda, when you want to, I'm sorry, I wasn't sharing that tab. I just checked off this one. When you want to, you can just click on the S for Schoology, and it is going to open up for you a link directly into our district resources. And I drilled right down into the K folder. So you don't have to because the topic of this group is kindergarten, I know you teach all of them. If you want to just go back one hyperlink, you can. This is sometimes called the breadcrumb trail, but it's just a file path. The kindergarten folder is inside of the K-6 ELA Wit and Wisdom, so you could just backtrack one if you need to go into other grade levels. So this is where we house our Schoology online lessons from what we made from our Wit and Wisdom, Great Minds lessons, from like the teacher's guide, and from what we taught last year. All right, so let's take a look at where we were last year when this kicked off and where we are now. And so I can show that in here, but I'm just letting you know that's how you get to them. Or I would rather show it to you in my courses where I'm teaching. So at the beginning of my time teaching kindergarten, I launched Module 1. It wasn't until October because I didn't come back to teaching until October. But I launched Module 1 with the question, the focusing question arc, what are our 5 senses? And I added those lessons in. And again, those just came right out of this resource folder, right in here. You can just drill in and you can pull out specific pieces to that lesson, okay? So I went in and I pulled those into my course, and I did edit them down a bit. The separate pages for all of that was a bit much for my kindergarten, but in general, you can see the lesson is there. Now, what was good about this for the beginning of the school year is one, UC and our Office of Curriculum created these really nice templates that have a predictable flow, like even down to little details like that all the headings are blue and in that one font, all the subheadings are green and in that one font. Then I think I left it somewhere in here, but down, like if there was a note, if there was instructions to teachers or families, they made it in a blue highlight, you know, in really small font, but they just kept it so that a teacher could roll through a lesson and either live teach this over a Google Meet, or if they didn't make it to the meeting, that with a parent, obviously with a parent because they're 5 and 6, they could go through this lesson, and you know, grown up could read the words and a child could press play on the videos. The opening part is a little more grown up heavy, so I did this in class in live Google meetings with my students. But then they go through all of the elements of Wit and Wisdom, the launch, learn, land, and wrap. And I did put all of those in my Schoology course, just displayed in line. There's a couple different ways you could do it, but I just found it really easy to share my screen and go through these lessons with my students. Even like something like this Wonder Wheel, I used an online digital, it's called wheelofnames.com, but I would just put those things on the Wonder Wheel and we'd spin it and practice asking those questions. But what I liked is the Wit and Wisdom core texts are either embedded in here in videos or actual pictures are put in here. So this was the beginning of the year. The only thing is the Insync portion was not included. It wasn't available at the beginning of the year, but that's where we're getting to now. So this was like the next lesson, and I just liked these lessons because they were really visually nicely done. I felt they were engaging for kindergartners. Whoops, I forgot to click on that. So here's the lesson, the next one. And so they could look at this and we could talk about it, and I would teach it live in a Google meeting, and then I just scroll through it. They'd get to points like you saw on the other one where they go into a Flipgrid and submit something, or you know, they could draw a picture and snap a picture and put it in my Seesaw, however I wanted to collect it, or right within Schoology. And then I got into Module 2, and there wasn't anything done yet, so I had to start kind of building from scratch. So I used their templates, but then I just started putting in things of my own that related to it, because what I found is I didn't have the time to make the stuff that UC and our Office of Curriculum had time to make for Module 1, and I was already teaching Module 2, and that wasn't done. So I just put together my own stuff, but UC isn't doing this project anymore, but there is somebody else from Hamilton County Educational Service Center, so HCESC. He's leading a project for writing the rest of our modules, which begins with our Module 2, and that is, you know, what is true about real farm animals. So that's what we're in right now. And I'm going to show you what they have created for us. So there's a guy named Jason Happ, and he met with us, showed us these templates that he developed. And this is module 2. And so the teachers can just pull all this into their courses again, same sort of way. There's a little bit more in here than I'm going to use in my classes, and we talked about that in our writing team. But when we get into the actual lessons, there's some valuable stuff like, starting the lesson here, assessment details and family support options. Then there are videos from Insync. Excuse me. What they've done is they've made it all in Schoology so that if a teacher doesn't want to go, sort of hop back and forth, if the teacher doesn't want to have their students launch in Clever and then go into Great Minds and Sync, and then once they're in, and I can show you the student-facing side if you'd like, but if they don't want them to have to go in here to access their assignments, because the teacher can actually assign watching the video and even answering some questions. They don't have to do it in Insync. They can do everything in Schoology so that everything is all in one place. So this was made by Jason with Hamilton County, and then Kimberly McLean added them here for us to be able to pull into our courses. So the work that I'm doing now, I'm going to hop back over to my agenda and talk a little bit. I showed you where you can find them in our LMS and Schoology. And so that was Wit and Wisdom then at the beginning of the school year. And that was the 5 senses lessons I showed you. And Wit and Wisdom now, like I said, most kindergarten teachers are well into module 2, possibly getting ready to launch module 3. And so that's where we are now. We have lessons that we can pull. Excuse me, I'm on the wrong one. We have these lessons that we can pull into our courses to edit and make our own if we want to. Now there's more Schoology item types in here now. In the template that Jason was building, he's putting in Schoology assessments. And what I'm working on for kindergarten with a team of teachers, let me pull up ours, is kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. We're working together. And we are working on taking those and adapting them just a little bit better because we're actually teaching them. So when our friends in the Office of Curriculum and Instruction are making these awesome resources, sometimes they just want us to sort of test drive them, try them out with our students, and then refine or make them better. One thing that I'm doing is extending them by adding options like Seesaw and Flipgrid, because although there are ways to submit in Schoology, Schoology can still be a little difficult for a K-1-2 student to submit activities in. And so because we know our students, we are looking at different ways to do this. So this is just a working space. Like I said, right now, myself and Lauren and Hope, we're on the K-1-2 team, and we're working on editing that content. Let me come back. That's where we are now. So what's to come is some more embedded content and ease of access. I still struggled with how long it's taking me to go into the resource. Let me go back to that. This one here. I struggled with how to go into this resource, and I didn't struggle with how to do it. I know how to do it. I've trained people how to do it, but the practical side of being in the classroom now and teaching all day, and being responsible for a group of students, like bringing all these items in to my course and then customizing them for what I need. I felt like it was just I was doing a lot. So I'm trying to streamline these for kindergarten. And I'm also using, I'm taking what we had in the beginning with really friendly visuals and large fonts, and then embedded videos and things like that. And I'm taking what they've got for module 2 now and trying to make it a little bit more streamlined. So I'm going to do things like use a Google slide embedded and maybe just one idea per slide. Now, this is not Wit and Wisdom. This is just a morning meeting, but it's the same kind of concept. Just maybe when we do that reveal word, it's just on one slide. The good news is Insync already has those slides for us too. I really like that. It's a new feature. I was really excited when I saw that. So in the, I believe it's in the Learn Anywhere plan. No, it's not in the plan. Sorry. It's in here. Oh, you know what? I gotta scroll down. Sorry, I just learned Insync myself recently because I had gotten away from it because it wasn't ready for us for Module 2. Where is, oh geez, sorry. All right, there is a set of PowerPoint slides already done here. I can't find it right now for some reason. I'm sorry, but there are a bunch of slide decks that they've made, and so I'm going to streamline those because it's still even too much for kindergarten to use, and we are going to be focusing on what we can put on the screen to be student facing. Let me go back to this one. From within here, oh, here it is, Module 2 projected slides. Just found it. So if you look right there, they have all of these slides that you can project to your class. So again, like since you are supporting the classroom and you're not necessarily teaching it explicitly, you might really want these because these are the slides that have all of the lesson content in them. It opened up as a PowerPoint. I could show it to you. It's not going to open in a tab, but it just kind of, you have to scroll to like slide number 8 to get to the stuff for students. So that's part of what we're going to do is just streamline that and delete it down to just what we want in Schoology for students to see.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So that's what we're in the middle of doing right now. So that's what's to come, embedded content and ease of access. We don't want teachers to have to sort through all this on their own and to know to jump to slide 8. We're just going to like make it streamlined. And then live edits is going to be something that we haven't been able to do before. I'm really excited about that. And that one I'll show you in my course. I'll go into my real course for this. So my students are using those template-based lessons all across the board in science, in social studies. I really like the Schoology templates. Whoops, not Dr. Seuss. So like this is one of the templates. This is not Wit Wisdom. This is the Wave Foundation. So we're using this, but we just had something happen last week. The person who created these lessons, it's Miss Erin with the Wave Foundation. She made a change to the lesson because there was a wrong book referenced. Well, she made the change, but then the change had to be published to the district in this collection, and then I have to go and pull it over, or I at least have to copy and paste from it. And so that was just too much. So what we're going to do instead, oops, sorry, I keep jumping on the wrong tab. What we're going to do instead is take this idea, but like see this jump start in this little bit, that's going to be one slide. Ignore the content. And so whatever it is in Wit and Wisdom in Insync, we're going to pull in their slides. And I can only speak to kindergarten. The K12 team is going to meet again in a week or so to share like what we've been doing. And then it will just be that slide. And so that when I make a change or the author of it makes a change or anything gets updated, the teacher doesn't have to update anything. It'll just update in their course. And so that's brand new now. We haven't been able to do any kind of live edits. So by using Google Slides, so I've called that leveraging Scoogle before, but by using Google Slides, we'll be able to get those live edits into our content, which is super exciting. The last piece that we have today is, is tying it all together and doing, I can't get my little check mark there, but tying it all together and how you use it in your LMS to customize. Because, whoops, I didn't go back there. I'm doing an awful job. I think it's because I'm post-lunch. But anyway, so we're tying it all together, how we use our learning management system with these custom lessons to pull it in and make them our own. But that really gets like teacher specific for your questions. So I've got this example. I did use this in my earlier session today, so I stamped it used. But I don't know if you've ever seen like Marie Kondo or Kondoing Your Life. I saw this article on on condoing your classroom, like how you can make your classroom bring you joy and be more streamlined. And so we're looking at basically doing that with Wit and Wisdom lessons to make them easier for teachers to access, to pull into their course. And then I'm most excited about the fact that we'll be able to update by using more items that are embedded in Google. So think of that messy classroom, that messy cluttered digital space as like becoming a nice and organized and peaceful Zenish space. The rest of the stuff was Wit and Wisdom in kindergarten, what to keep for digital and in person, what to adapt or change, and then what to abandon, maybe some things that we did that we're not going to do anymore. I have my thoughts on what to keep and what to adapt. The only thing I have to abandon is I'm going to get rid of a whole bunch of where the content is built directly in Schoology, where it's static, and so you just get that copy and that's the copy you have. And I'm going to do all embedded Google content so I can do live updates, which live updates is not a feature of Schoology yet, but by using Google with Schoology, we're going to accomplish that. So a couple more quick slides. Our agreement is that our number one focus is that our adapted curriculum is our core instructional tool. We want to focus on how the learners, how the students interact with the text and materials in person, in the face-to-face and online, how parents and families access learning outside of school or hours, or, unfortunately, we know that even when we're back full time, we might have cases of families being quarantined or kids having to be out longer term. So we always want to keep this digital component in mind. Just because we go back full time doesn't mean we want to get rid of our online practices. And then the last piece is any of this work that we're doing, we share it. So there's sometimes that feeling of them over in the Office of Curriculum, they are telling us what we need to do, but it's really an and. So we're working together to build this content, to make it better with teachers, and to share. So we're not doing it 100 times over. So we're not all doing the same thing. So anyway, I have some resources like how to support students not logging in, whether that's to Great Minds or it's through Schoology, how to share your resources and others, how to access and customize fully created lessons. I showed a bit of that, but I didn't show any customizing it. And then did you know that you have office hours, groups, and more for support? So with just one person, hi Loretta, with just 2 people, that went a lot faster than I had on my agenda. I thought it would be a half hour of content, and then it would be, a half hour Q&A. But we're ready for question and answers. So anything you're wondering, I can share now. If you want to just exit early, that's fine too. You can always take what I just showed you and go practice it on your own. Maybe try to get into Great Minds through Clever. Check out those slides, the projectable slides, because that's newer. That was not there when I was using it in October. And then just know that we are on the district curriculum writing team, we are working on even pulling those resources together better for you so that your kindergarten online teaching, so that all of your online teaching, I'm just doing kindergarten, is a better experience.
Yeah, that's great. I just really appreciate having access to what the teachers are using with students so that I can see what students see to, maybe help figure out where the confusion is when they come out with me. So I appreciate having access to the things that teachers are using. So that's great.
Yeah, so even when you run into barriers, like if you can't get into it through Clever for some reason, I still encourage you to find out the answer from, either the help desk to make sure your Clever account's working. And then if Clever's working, then go ahead and send Karen Clemens that message to see if you can get access to it. But if you can't, you can go through Schoology, and the link that's in that slide, the S button in the middle of that slide, that takes you straight to the resources for the district. So you've got everything.
Okay, thank you. That was good. Thanks so much.
Great. You're welcome, Robin. Have a great day. Loretta, is there anything I can answer or help you with this afternoon?
Where are you gonna house the recording? Because I just got out of another PD, so I was trying to get the tail in.
If you, you know what? I think I did not put it on my slide. So give me 2 seconds and I'll get that on there.
Okay.
Totally meant to have like my little button. I forgot. It's a lot.
Great.
There's a lot going on today. Let's see. Okay, let me edit this.
So that's the exit ticket, right? You've dropped into the chat.
No, so I did double check. We used to do exit tickets by session, but
Okay.
now we are just doing them at the end of the day. The one that you'll answer for the whole district PD day,
Okay.
that's when you'll answer that. So, Loretta, if you look on my Rosemary, like on my About Me slide, there's now a button in the lower. Oh, it didn't link to YouTube. Give me 1 second to link it. Channel. So I would just go here to videos because the most recent will be sitting there. My 2 from this morning are sitting here already. I'll copy that and I'll link it on there. There we go. So that will take you straight there. If you just click on that little button there, that hyperlink, it takes you into my videos, and those are organized by most recent. So you can see the 2 sessions I had today. Oh, I forgot I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. The 2 sessions I had today, when you click on that, okay.
Can you drop that back inside of the chat?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's in the agenda as well.
That's on your YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm dropping it here though. This is my YouTube. This takes you straight to all my videos, which, like I said, the ones from this morning, Connecting Parents is here. Returning to face-to-face school is here. It'll look just, I did the same cover for all of today's sessions since this is like our spring PD. So
okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for hopping in. I know I did end up finding out the timing wasn't great because everybody else was doing the 1 to 2 and 2 to 3.
Right.
But this morning it was 8:30, so I don't know.
So yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Bye.